Motivation. Everybody talks about motivation as if it's the new fluffernutter sandwich that's delicious and good. I got news for you. It's not fluff. Certainly isn't hype. And everything you know about motivation is wrong. And I am Mario Leone. Welcome to the Voices of Victory channel. Feel free to click on the link below to support this channel so we can actually grow together. So, yeah, everything you know about motivation is indeed wrong. I want to be so clear with that because this is a very strong case for nervous system over willpower. I think a lot of people may not understand that. They think that motivation is this thing. I'm like, hello, nervous system. Nervous system's over here. You're looking at willpower over there. No, the nervous system is over here. That's what we're talking about here. So the big willpower myth, oh, just push harder, be more disciplined, want it more, right? And we've been totally sold on that idea. We've been fed that idea. We've been given that idea. And motivation somehow equals willpower. And that equals forcing yourself through resistance, dealing with emotional resistance. And guess what? I did speak a few days ago on the emotional types that have difficulty with routine, and that relates exactly what I'm discussing here. Because this is not how your body works. I want to make it so clear. It's not how your body works. Of course, we're wired and we have to rewire, but there's still a default. There's still basic foundational things that are running called your nervous system. Yeah, welcome to the show. Your nervous system runs that very show. Before you can motivate yourself, your nervous system is going to decide. It's going to decide whether or not it's important enough, if it understands the value of it, and if it's safe enough to actually act. So here we go. A lot of people, when you're safe, it's like, okay, I can do this. My body's calm. I can work out. I can exercise. No problem. I can plan ahead. I can think clearly. I can take action. No problem. But here's the deal. Your energy and persistence, it flows towards growth, which is awesome. It's creative, it's focused, and it's open to any risks that you might want to take. But here's the deal. If your nervous system feels like it's being watched, like if you go to the gym and you have anxiety and you feel that you're being watched by everybody, you won't work out, or it'll be really hard for you to work out, not realizing that you actually have to tune everybody out and turn your attention inward towards your own journey. Outside of that, though, that safe state is one aspect, but now you're in the threat state. You're at the gym. Everybody's looking at me. Are they looking at me? Are they thinking about me? What are they thinking? So this threat state happens. So your body starts to sense that as danger, starts to feel that. Like, okay, I don't like being here. I'm uncomfortable being here. I don't even want to stay here longer than I need to. So your energy starts going towards survival. So this totally kicks off resistance. This is the point in time where your emotional resistance kicks in when you're trying to start or build a routine. So action feels like it's impossible. So what happens? You totally shut down. You completely react. You get frozen like a deer in headlights, and now you're like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do. But what starts to really go down is motivation. Motivation goes downhill. Why though? Why does motivation go downhill? Because burnout is the one that actually depletes motivation when you get burnt out. So burnt out is happening. It's happening all the time. Your body is really going to shut down, especially if it feels under threat. It will get burnt out. So if you're chronically stressed, you're going to get burnt out. Your nervous system flips it into this protection mode that's going on. So what happens is your brain will say, prioritize survival. Fuck the to-do list. I don't even want to consider working out. I don't even want to consider the things I have to do because it's all about survival and the nervous system. So your brain flips a switch in that direction. So it's important for you to know that your nervous system doesn't have a problem. It's actually doing exactly what it's designed to do, of course, which is to protect you. That's what it's all about. So everybody says, oh, just, be disciplined more, be disciplined more, be disciplined more. But discipline works, and it does. You can think of discipline as, training yourself over the long period of time. Like you're training your mindset, right? We can overwrite, or we can rewire our nervous system. We can do that. Or some people are very dug in they're in their nervous system so tightly. They're wound up, if you will. Like that's the word I'm going to use, wound up, right? Now they're trying to white knuckle through tasks. They're trying to push harder, do more. And what happens is they spend their energy on trying to push past their own nervous system. That's not sustainable. That's a pathway to things getting harder. It's not something you can sustain over a period of time. So, what happens is you have Monday morning comes, Wednesday they have to push through, and now Friday they're exhausted, totally exhausted. So the more you kind of grip on to your discipline, the more you wrap yourself around it, you get more tired. And your discipline is important. It needs to move you forward, but you need to ground your nervous system too. Maybe working out at the gym is not something you should do. Maybe you should work out at home, alone, in isolation, and push yourself as hard as you need to. No one's watching, right? If you really have to. Maybe you could use things that ground you at the gym, tune people out, put the headset on, put a hoodie over your ears, tune everyone out, focus on what you're doing. Music is motivation, and music will get you in a good place when it comes to your nerve. It'll move you into a good place. Now, we're living in a time where productivity is a big deal, especially in today's times, right? Where everything is speeding up, but our nervous system is really connected to our biology, and it's moving real fast. So I want to tell you that when you're working with your nervous system, what you're trying to do is build more human capacity. You're trying to become more resilient, trying to get your nervous system more grounded so you can become more emotional. Because emotional resilience is necessary because of our nervous system. And it's also, we're trying to build routine. And there's, like I said, in my one episode, the 3 types of people where their emotions get in the way of routines. It is due to their emotions as well as their nervous system. It's all there. So we're expected to push so hard and match what the world does. But there's always a biological cost. There's always a cost to everything. There's a cost to doing. There's a cost to not doing. So everything in this world has gotten faster. And I want you to understand that because your nervous system is going down the way it is, that's not a problem. It's not something you should, frown upon. It's an actual fact. You need to ground that nervous system to the best of your ability. So what actually works? Well, when motivation does really surface in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, your body needs to be regulated. So sleep, getting that exercise, and that exercise needs to be at a pace of manageability, where you're able to manage it, because you're going to be managing your emotions too. You're going to be managing your nervous system. So sleep, movement, being able to feel safe where you are. If you're at the gym and you have complete anxiety in social spheres, then at that point in time, you don't feel safe. You won't work out there. You will do an about face and walk out. You'll leave. But if you tune everybody out, that's another thing. But if you still think that people are, looking at you or watching you, then guess what? You might backslide. You might say, I'm leaving, I'm out here. So you need to feel safe. You need some cues that make you feel safe. And you have to be able to rebuild your self-talk that I am safe right now. I am focused on exercise, and I am focused on safe. Deep breathing for a few minutes before you even work out, right? And then you have to consider recovery, okay? Recover, absolutely, because if your body, needs that motivation happens when your body feels regulated. So giving yourself that ability to recover after a workout and even recover from a nasty, stressful day, like if you're always stressed, your nervous system is always operating all the time and you're not giving yourself a chance to recover. We have this idea in society of go, 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 now, more, do more. And it's like, when are you going to let your nervous system just relax? When are you just going to let your nervous system recover on its own? We're not talking about doom scrolling for 4 hours. We're talking about actual recovery. And this is where we have to create routines that are predictable. And if you do have a concern about, those 3 emotional types, like if you want to see that one episode of the 3 emotional types that have difficulty with routine, then you can come back to this one afterwards. But you want predictable routines. You want that. You could always bake in some unpredictability, but you're doing it in a predictable way. where you know it's coming, but you're going to mix things up a little bit. It's kind of like doing your typical boxing combination 100 times the same way. And now you say, okay, I'm going to just change the combination a little bit. I'm just going to adjust it a little. So you got to understand, none of these are wanting more. It's not about wanting more sleep, more movement, or more recovery. It's not about that. These are things that are giving your nervous system what it actually needs to go forward. Very important. And it's all about looking at actual systems and planning. Like, it's more, when we look at discipline, it's not about willpower. It's literally more about making a practical system, a pathway that you can follow. And if you have a pathway, if you have routines that are able to apply to your emotions, like if you're able to get your emotions and routines synchronized, you can do really well. And that takes some creativity. So having a consistent sleep schedule is going to be important. Yes, that's going to be important. If you're doom scrolling at 2 a.m., that's disrupting your sleep patterns. Same time up, same time down. Your body needs that predictability. It needs that safety. You need those breaks of movement, 5 minutes every hour, not just exercise, but maybe some jumping jacks or just walk, go for a walk. But it tells your mind, hey, you're okay. You're all right. You're not trapped in a box. You're doing fine. Just keep going. And being able to have clear boundaries with people. Now you have to have clear boundaries with yourself as well. Define when work ends. When work is over and you're punched out, define that it ends at that point. Because if you're not sure if work is over and you're feeling all wishy-washy about it, that's going to keep your nervous system on like a guard dog on high alert. It's going to be indefinitely like that. So the real whole idea here, the whole recipe, if you will, is having a regulated nervous system and having support systems that are going to help you. And those are support systems that are not people, but a system that you put together, like a workout system or an exercise system or some kind of system. And that will have sustainable action and goals as a result. So this is what we've actually been calling motivation all along. So motivation isn't something you find. And people can fluctuate with their motivation. There's external motivation, meaning you're doing it because you're doing it because everybody else is doing it. But intrinsic motivation is understanding the value of what you get from something on the inside rather than outside. So motivation fluctuates, and it's like willpower. It's like a muscle, comes and goes. And motivation is not something you find. It's something your nervous system and your body actually allow when you feel totally calm, totally safe, and you feel like, all right, I'm safe enough to actually move forward. That's what it's all about. And that's all I'm going to say. Don't forget to click below on the Podbean link so you can visit the Patreon and support this channel. Take care. Have a good one. This is Mario Leone, Voices of Victory, signing off.